you guys a question. What have you learned from me? I was wondering this because I wanted to know, have I had any kind of impact on anybody? Like, have I ever taught anybody anything? And so I asked people on Instagram to share with me what they had learned from me, especially about skincare. And I thought it might be interesting to just condense all of that information. If people really felt like they learned something, condense it. Let's condense it into one video. So that's what we're gonna do. So I've been online since 2003. Maybe 2002. I don't even remember how long ago it was that I started doing online content, whether it was writing it or on camera. I have been doing this for a really long time. And it was really like in 2008 that I solidified that beauty, like the beauty focus in my career online. Before that, had dabbled in wellness and beauty and everything. I worked at People Magazine, where I would ask celebrities about all their beauty tips and tricks and secrets, and all their makeup artists and all their, estheticians and everything. That all started back then, but it was really like after 2009 when I really started to focus my career specifically on beauty. And from there, I went as a beauty editor to just starting my own YouTube channel, Mixed Makeup, as you guys know. And when I started Mixed Makeup, I still focused on beauty as a whole, but then I started to really narrow it down to just skincare. So when I think back in all of these years, I kind of wondered, had I actually really made an impact? Have I actually really driven home some of the important aspects of skincare? So I decided to ask on Instagram, and I honestly just kind of asked for my own purposes. Like, I just kind of wanted to know, like, make me feel good. I don't know, give me attention. It was something like that. But then when I started getting the responses, they made me chuckle, and I thought it might be really helpful to just condense it into one video, because there are constantly new people coming to the channel. So these are the tips. I'm gonna actually just read them to you from my phone, because some of them are really cute, some of them are really helpful, and some of them I'm very proud of. Something I do want to point out before I get into all of these, just because people say that they learned these tips from me doesn't mean that I think I created any of these tips, right? It just means that I've shared it enough that I think the message has been driven home. And I'm proud of that. There were a lot of responses, so the way that we narrowed this down was we chose the responses that seemed to have the most similar response. Like, we really, like the most popular response, we really narrowed it down. And that first one is, skincare is personal. Yes. Thank you. That makes me so happy to hear that people learn that skincare is personal, because this is true. I fully believe that when it finally clicks for you, how personal skincare can be, it gives you answers to so many questions you probably have about skincare. When I say skincare is personal, I mean that what happens with your skin and how your skin reacts and what your skin needs is completely different than what my skin needs and how it reacts to anything. And that's the same for every single person. So I can tell you, I love a skincare product, I love a skincare treatment, but it doesn't matter what I say I love without context. I have to tell you how my skin is. I have to give you a little bit more of an idea of, like, my skin is dry. How old am I? What doctor did I see? How many times have I tried something? I have to give so much more context for you to even be able to understand if it might work for you. And even at that, you would still have to try it yourself, or even go get a consultation if it's just, like a cosmetic treatment or something like that. What works for you might not work for me, and what works for me might work for you. You never ever know. Next is the double cleansing magic, or the benefits of the double cleanse. And actually after that, probably what we got the most of was lots of comments on using makeup wipes is the 8th deadly sin. That actually made me laugh. But people said, makeup wipes are the devil. Lots of no makeup wipes. And that makes me happy, because honestly, if there's one mark I want to make in the skincare industry, it's that double cleansing is a really great way to cleanse your skin. Maybe it's not for everybody, but if you haven't tried it, I recommend giving it a try. And at the very least, please just get rid of your makeup wipes. Makeup wipes are so harsh on your skin. If you just refuse to get rid of them, at least don't make them the only cleanse in your skincare routine. Having the perfect cleanse, that's really what the message is. Whether it's a double cleanse, whether it's just one cleanser, whether it's starting off with makeup wipes and then moving into using real cleansers, having the perfect cleanse where your skin is nice and clean, you get all the sunscreen off, you get the grime off, you get the makeup off, but then your skin just feels nice and soft and supple and doesn't feel super stripped or irritated, which I think happens a lot with makeup wipes. That is the perfect base to then move into your skincare routine. That is the true message. To enjoy skincare more, not see it as a chore. Still working on this. You know what? That's okay. The reason why I like to remind people that they should enjoy their skincare routine and be a little bit indulgent if they want to, especially if it's gonna make it a more pleasurable experience, is because if you don't like doing your skincare, then the chances of you committing to it are a little bit slimmer. Obviously, there are people who are diligent. Whether they like to do it or not, they're gonna stick to it and be consistent with their skincare routine. But what I find overall is that when people really enjoy their skincare routines and they see this as a self-care moment, then they're more consistent. They're more likely to be consistent with their skincare routine and truly see results with their skin over time. Because really, the name of the game is consistency. You're going to see the biggest change with your skin when you are consistent. And that involves enjoying it for a lot of people. Not everybody, but hopefully you would enjoy your skincare routine. And I think it just takes little steps. And sometimes it's not about doing everything right and doing everything perfectly. If there's something that you like to do with your skincare routine because it just makes you happy, then by all means, do it. This one says that I don't have sensitive skin. I have a weak skin barrier, but now that is now healthy. Yes. That was a message that really took a second to click for me even. I used to think like, oh, I have irritated skin. I have sensitive skin. And then I started to take a step back and realize, wait, maybe it's me. Maybe the problem is me and I am irritating my skin. I'm causing the sensitivity. Yes, people can absolutely just have sensitive skin. But a lot of the time, what people are experiencing is either a really dry skin, a weakened skin barrier, and it's something that we have caused, whether it's products that we've overused, products that were just too strong for us in the first place, being too rough with our faces, using makeup wipes, being out in the sun and getting a sunburn. There's so many ways that you can harm your skin barrier, but once you learn to just take care of it and maintain it and keep it healthy and normal, then your skin will be so much happier and you won't really experience so much sensitivity. This one I really love. I love all of them, but I love this one. Skincare goes past just your face and neck. Take care of all of your skin. Yes. I really love this because I think that in general, we used to always just think we need to focus here. And then I started thinking about like, well, I start hearing this message, especially from dermatologists, like when fillers start to become a thing, they would talk about how like your neck, your hands, your chest are like the dead giveaway for your age, especially if you've only been taking care of your face. So then I start to like bring it all down. And then I heard Dr. Lancer say, your face starts from your forehead all the way down to your nipples. And he had a message like that. I think I like kind of tweaked how I would say it, but he had that kind of a message that you like want to bring it all the way down, all your skincare all the way down. And that was kind of life-changing for me to be like, oh, wait a second, I really need to take care of it, all of it here, right? But then, I started thinking, and I'm sure it dawned on a lot of people, that if we're taking care of our skin from here to here, then we need to take care of our skin everywhere. The skin all over our bodies is just as important. And I can confirm now in my 40s, the skin on my body, it's just like the skin on my face. It's changing and evolving. I'm definitely aging and I can see that little bit of difference. I can at least see the signs of it. So taking care of all of your skin is super important. Okay, next one, that you can use multiple actives at once as long as your skin can tolerate it. So helpful. Yes, this is pro tip, you guys. You can use multiple actives at once. The reason why you hear a lot of professionals and a lot of people on social media and stuff say that you shouldn't combine actives in one skincare routine is because you're just upping the chances of irritation. But you're also upping the chances of lots of good results. It just depends on your skin and what your skin can tolerate. Here's the big issue. If you overdo it with your skin, it's kind of like working out. If you overdo it while you're working out and you hurt yourself, then you actually have to stop working out so your body can heal, right? Like if you pull a muscle, you can't work out potentially for like another week or two. So then you lose all your gains, right? It's the same thing with skincare. You want to move up in levels, right? And the problem is if you go too fast, it can irritate your skin and then you have to take a step back and let your skin heal and then you lose all of your gains with your skin, right? But over time, you actually do want to move up. You want to level up a little bit with your skincare routine. There might be a stopping point for you. I know for me, my stopping point is I can't overdo it with tretinoin. My skin is just sensitive to it. That's all there is to it. But that doesn't stop me from trying to level up all of my other actives. I try to combine some of my exfoliants like my glycolic acid with my retinoids because I know that if I can actually use both of them in the same routine safely, then I'm gonna get some really great results. It's just a matter of finding what works for you and which actives you can actually tolerate when you combine them together. So you have to get to know your skin and you have to figure out how to work your way to that. Don't go too fast, pay attention to your skin and just really get to know your skin so that you can pump the brakes a little bit if you need to. The glory of niacinamide. I'm so glad that people feel like I've taught them a lot about niacinamide. Obviously, niacinamide's not a new thing. I did not discover niacinamide, but for me personally, I start to realize that niacinamide was this like magical ingredient for me when I started to really get into Korean skincare, because I started to realize that Korean skincare had a lot of niacinamide kind of flowing through these formulas. And then when I got pregnant, my first pregnancy, I started to use a couple of products that had niacinamide. They were essentially niacinamide serums. They just weren't called niacinamide serums at the time because it wasn't a trendy ingredient. And it started to occur to me that, you know what? Maybe niacinamide is the key for my skin. So I know that niacinamide is super trendy now, and I know that a lot of people are kind of sick of hearing about it. But I maintain niacinamide can do so much for your skin. It helps to balance your oil production. It helps to soothe your skin. It helps to lock in hydration in your skin. It helps to brighten your skin and even your skin tone. There are so many benefits to it, and that's the reason why you see so much of it. It is such a great ingredient, and it plays well with all of your other ingredients. The next thing that people have learned from me is that an expensive product doesn't mean it's better. This is absolutely true, and it's actually one of the things I've been trying to prove with my own brand Naturium. I don't want you to think that you have to spend a lot of money to get value. I think value comes from effective products that feel good, they give you a good experience, they actually do what you want them to do and you see results, and you're able to be consistent with them. You're able to keep purchasing them and use them regularly, use the right amount, and just see those results over time. That to me matters so much more than the price of a product. Do I like some bougie, expensive products? Of course I do. I like to be bougie. I love to treat myself all the time. I feel like I've worked really hard to do that, but it doesn't mean that products that are more affordable are not as good. Sometimes there are more affordable products that are even better. It's all about formulation. Using retinol. This person says, I'm still going through the purge, but I finally had the courage to start. I'm really happy to hear that. Besides sunscreen, I really do believe that retinoids are the next most important ingredient to have in your skincare routine. Whenever anybody asks, what is an active that I should put into my skincare routine, incorporate into my skincare routine that I don't already, I always ask, do you use retinol? Because that's like the easiest way to get started. It's just a really nice, gentle retinol. And then of course, it's just like I said earlier, you want to try to level up to different percentages, to using it even more during the week. Instead of going like every other day, you want to move to every day or as much as possible. You want to eventually maybe even get to prescription if it's necessary for you. But retinoids have a lot of studies behind them, especially prescription retinoids. And while a lot of other ingredients have lots of different studies behind them that prove they do something to help your skin, retinoids just seem to have the most studies behind them that just prove that it does the most, So I'd like to have the most, and I like that you guys want to have the most too, because you deserve it. Judge products by trying, not by the inky list. Yes, there's a lot that we can tell from the inky list. We can tell if there are ingredients that we like. We can tell sometimes if there's percentages that it might be strong or might not be strong. And sometimes you can tell from the inky list, if you really know ingredients, what kind of texture you might expect from a product. But at the end of the day, you do not know if you will like a product unless you actually try it. I'm 100% certain of that. You have to try a product before you can say whether it works for you or not. That's it. I don't even want to hear it. If somebody tells me they don't like a product just by looking at the ingredient list, completely written off. I don't even want to hear why you don't like the product. Unless there's an ingredient that you just know you're allergic to, you're sensitive to, whatever, that you're trying to avoid, then please don't write off a product by the ingredient list until you have actually tried it. I promise we're almost done with the list. This one's an important one. SPF, rain or shine. Rain or shine. I don't necessarily say rain or shine. I just really like to make it a consistent habit in my life to put on my sunscreen. So I actually do put on my sunscreen rain or shine. Really, it's much more nuanced than that. Like if you've got like a UV index of 1, 2, it's just like the chances of having any sun exposure are really, really slim. Then of course you don't need to wear your sunscreen. But I personally put my sunscreen on every single day because I make it part of my morning skincare routine. That way it's just part of my ritual. It is what I do and I don't forget about it certain days. I hear people tell me this all the time. Oh, I forgot to put on sunscreen today. And in my mind, I'm like, how could you forget to put your sunscreen on? Because to me, I'm like, it's just like brushing my teeth, because I do it in my regimen every single morning, rain or shine. And that's the only reason why I think it's really important to do that, is you want to make sure that you just do it regularly and you don't forget, especially on the days where it's really important. You have that high UV index. You are going to be in the sun. You want to avoid, getting those UV rays to your face. That is when it matters. But if you forget it because you're not consistent with it, then what are you doing? Like, why even try? Because at the end of the day, sunscreen is the only product that truly matters above all the other products in your skincare routine. It really is the most important. And I would argue maybe a good cleanser. But really, you want to wear sunscreen. You really cannot predict if you're gonna have too much sun exposure. Like, I hear people say to me like, oh, well, I only get into my car to go to work in the morning, so I don't put on sunscreen every day because I don't think I need it. How do you know? I don't know. I just put on my sunscreen so that I'm just careful, ready for it, prepared in case I want to go for a walk, go get some coffee, be exposed to the sun. You get a lot of exposure in your car too. You just don't know. Even if it's rainy outside and cloudy, they actually sometimes say that if it's cloudy outside, you should definitely wear your sunscreen, because you can get reflections and the UV rays can bounce off of the clouds and all that kind of shit. So you want to wear your sunscreen. Let's make it a part of your regimen, and you will get used to wearing your sunscreen every day. You will not forget it. And last, this is probably the most important one, that women can be professional and still call themselves hoes for brands. Because you guys know I am a hoe for a lot of different brands. Lately it's been Beyond Yoga, but I am a hoe for a lot of different brands. And you know what? I might be a hoe soon for Mochi Nut Donut X Boba. We just ordered this and dang, this shit is good. So, yes, you can be professional and put together and still be a hoe for whatever you want. I'm a hoe for skincare. That's me. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful. I'm so happy to hear that you guys have learned some stuff from me. I have learned a lot over the years as well, and I'm so grateful for the people who have taught me and who have put out such wonderful information on the internet and who share their expertise with us. Years ago, we didn't have this kind of access when I was a teenager. I wish I had all of this information. I wish somebody stressed the importance of sunscreen to me when I was in my early 20s, instead of encouraging me to go out and sunbathe all the time. But here we are. And now we do have this access, and I'm happy to be part of that. I'm happy to share anything, even if it's just a little bit of information that I've shared with you that's been helpful. I'm really, really happy that we've been able to share that together. So thank you again. If there's anything else you guys want to share in the comments below that you've learned over the years with skincare, with anything that I've ever put on the internet, tell me. I like it. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel like I'm contributing something to the world, You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm at Yara, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.